Okay, welcome everyone to our Thursday practitioner call. It's so great to be back. I was in Costa Rica for 4 days and I have never been to that country, and I will say it was beautiful. It was humid, like tropical, and it rained almost every day, but the rain is warm. It was so cool in a weird way. So if you've never been there, my suggestion is put it on your bucket list. And today is Thursday at 9 a.m. We're also on Facebook Live. So our folks on the Be Activating Facebook team can watch it live or come and watch it later. So we're really learning how to get the message out with all sorts of channels. I'm very excited about that. The practitioner call is a call where we talk about Lifewave. We talk about the technology of X39, and we also talk about the other patches that David Schmidt, the owner, inventor, and founder of Lifewave, has created, because as practitioners, we know that you must look at all the tools in the box to help your clients. So this call is more like a round robin where we'll talk patches and we'll have other practitioners share, and then also clients can come and share as well. The last 10 minutes, I always spend a little time explaining how Dr. Patty likes to set up her office to get the patches to clients. So we always talk that at the end. Dr. Patty did text me today. She had some clients that she had this morning, so she won't be able to be on it. So if there are other practitioners on the call that may like to pop in and talk, know that that would be wonderful. And you could put yourself on chat that you're a practitioner and you'd like to share a little bit. So, and Jan, if you could watch that chat, that would be wonderful for me. So it all started in 2018 with the X39. This is the stem cell activation patch. David Schmidt is the owner, inventor, and CEO of Lifewave. And let's just be honest, the man is way ahead of his time. And he created wearable light technology. Let me say that again, wearable light technology. What is wearable light technology? Right? It looks like a Band-Aid, right? How could that be so special? Well, it is. And inside you will see there is this white organic crystal. And it turns out that we radiate a low-grade infrared light off our entire body. And when you think about light, it's interesting because when we go outside, what do we feel on our skin? Light, the sun, right? And we like that. In fact, we create vitamin D. It's like we communicate with the sun, humans do. It's kind of interesting, right? We communicate with the sun. The sun does things to our body. We are one with the sun. And so what David realized is that light makes change in the body. And he then started analyzing that humans, the reason we interact with the sun is that we are light. We are this low-grade infrared light. And he figured out how to harness it. This is an organic crystal made out of amino acids, some sugar, some water. It's like a lattice. And when you put it on your skin, your own skin reflects back the light back into your body. And that does things to your body. There is nothing in this patch. We call this a non-transdermal. Have you ever heard of like, the hormone patches or the smoking patches? They're putting stuff in your body. This is not. This just harnesses your own light to make change in your body. There's actually a name for it. For you practitioners that probably do a ton of research, it's called photobiomodulation, which is light making change in your body. So what kind of change does this patch make in your body? Well, it activates a peptide, GHK copper peptide in your body. And that is a very powerful peptide. In fact, if you've been on some of these calls, most Thursdays, Dr. Patty MD is on our calls, and she is an integrative doctor, regenerative doctor. So her job is to regenerate the old to the young, right? Who doesn't want to regenerate? And she used to inject her patients with GHK copper peptide. She would send them home with these little tiny shots, and they would inject their stomach with a little GHK copper peptide because she knew it was such a regenerative peptide. So let's go look real quick to see what GHK copper peptide really does to the body. And for many of you researchers, you will want to write this down and look later. It's startx39now.com. Let me say that again. Startx39now.com. And I'm going to show you real quick what GHK copper peptide really does to the body. And we're going to go ahead and share screen. And so this is the site that I'd like you to go to. And by the way, it is in a couple different languages. So if you are Deutsch, Chinese, or Spanish, you can have even the videos in that language to follow along. I'm super proud of that. French is coming soon. And if you go down to this tab, it's called Age Reversal with GHK, and you click on it. You will see all the great things it does. Look what it does to skin and hair. It reduces fine lines, depth of wrinkles, and overall appearance. It increases hair growth. It accelerates wound healing. And that's because GHK really helps to build collagen again. And we know as practitioners that collagen is really the connective tissue in your whole entire body. And as we age, guess what happens? It goes down, and we want it to increase. The other pieces that GHK copper peptide do is it's an anti-cancer action. Look at that, reduces number one molecule for metastatic. It also helps with programmed cell death. It also repairs DNA. It also inhibits NFKB, a growth factor. It's very interesting, right? Lung protection. It protects the lungs. Chronic obstruction of pulmonary disease. Restores healthy function. Wow. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. It increases SOD activity. Superoxide dismutase. Superoxide dismutase is the molecule that goes after those little free radicals that do all the damage in your body. It's like the yuck in your body, like the exhaust. You know, when cars run and you have the exhaust, when our bodies run, our exhaust is free radicals. And superoxide dismutase eats all of that. So that's very, very good for keeping you in a regenerative way. Helps with brain and nerve. And also, this is the exciting part too. I love this. It helps with stem cells and other actions. It helps with the MCS stem cells and those kinds of stem cells. You ready for this? Dr. Patty explained this last week, and you can listen to her in our Be Activating Practitioner Team Telegram. Actually, I don't think it's called Be Activating. I think it's just called Practitioner Team Telegram. And you can get to that Telegram at startx39biz, that's startx39biz.com. And you go into the tab of 14 steps to success. And then you can see the tab, I think it's tab 5, join Telegram. And that's where you can join all these wonderful telegrams where all these recordings are located, like this one, and this is where Dr. Patty would be also talking about what an MCS stem cell is. And I'm just making sure I'm in the right step. Yeah, it's tab number 5, join Telegram. Okay, so that's where you would find all these recordings. So you can take notes to that as well. So what does that mean exactly? Well, an MCS stem cell is very exciting. These are stem cells that have the unique ability to turn into whatever cell your body needs for repair. Let's say that one again. MCS stem cells have the unique ability to change into whatever cell your body needs for repair. Stem cells are changeable. Isn't that amazing when you really think about it? We actually have cells in our body that are changeable. Most cells are your hair cells, your skin cells, your connective tissue cells, your cartilage cells. But stem cells can march in your body and go, whoa, you got a problem here. I'm going to change into the cell that you need to fix it. Isn't that unique and special? So let's think about that. Did you know that by the age of 30, you have lost 50% of your stem cell activity? By the age of 60, you've lost almost all of it. So let's think about that. What does it mean if stem cells are changeable and they can change into whatever cell your body needs to repair, but most of them go dormant by the time you're 60? Does that make sense to you why we keep aging and we don't repair anymore? Okay, well, let's have a real life example. Raise your hand if you had gray hair when you were 20. I don't see any hands raised. There's one. Okay, 1 out of 115. Okay, raise your hand if you had wrinkles at age 20. You know what I mean. I don't mean the smile line. I mean the forehead stuff, right? No. And did you have the chronic issue at 20 that you have today? Think about that. Did you? I sure didn't have breast cancer when I was 20. I was perfect. In fact, what issues did we have when we were 20? Like, what are we going to do tonight to play? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, life was so easy back then, and yet we thought it was so hard, right? So what happens if we could just regenerate, as Dr. Patty, reversed our time and repair like we're 20? Would we do it again? Well, I said yes, because the idea of regenerating back to the age of 20 was fascinating to me. And in fact, that's what David Schmidt, the owner, inventor, and CEO, is all about. Regeneration and repair, longevity and youth, how to live longer and be youthful in living longer, right? I mean, if you could be 100 and look and feel like you're 20, would you say yes? Let's say that again. If you were 100, but you looked and felt like 20, would that be a good thing? It wouldn't be a good thing. Thank you. Come on, you guys. Like, yes, who wouldn't want to do that, right? Like, I think we've just gotten so programmed that it's okay to get old. It's okay to have all those issues. It's okay to hurt all day long. It's okay not to sleep well. It's okay to urinate all through the night. It's not okay. We don't have to do that anymore. Let's make change for all of us. So that's kind of when Dr. Rhonda Donahue came knocking on my door. I was sitting in a lazy boy chair with a second reoccurrence of breast cancer, and I was checking out, right? I was done. And she brought me 10 of these, and she told me what I just told you. And I looked at her and I literally laughed in her face, because she told me that this was that powerful. And then you know what she said to me? She says, what do you have to lose? You're sitting in a lazy boy chair. Is this really going to be your life? And I looked at her and she goes, and it's a gift. Like, why wouldn't you put it on? I'm giving them to you. I said, okay, you're right. And I did. I put it right below the back of my neck, and I wore it 12 hours on to activate and repair and 12 hours off. She said, that's the only rule, Marci. Your whole body's light. You can really wear it anywhere. The only rule is 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And why is it that rule? Because we are light, we are signal based. And if you wear it 24 hours over and over and over again, your body gets used to the light and it doesn't work so well. So the only rule is 12 hours on and 12 hours off. Well, the first 2 days, the taste of chemo metal came out of my mouth. Chemo must have a lot of metals in it, because I did it for 9 months. I was done with chemo, but the patch just brought this horrible taste out in my mouth. I remember telling my husband, if my mouth is going to taste like this, I don't know if I can do these patches. And he said, just keep wearing them. It's okay. And in 2 days, the taste was gone. It took it all out. It was like crazy. And then by day 5, my skin got super soft. I remember going to my favorite pharmacy, like my friend, she owns it in Newport Beach. and we're friends. And I ran into her to give her some of these. And I said, feel my finger right there. It's so soft. Like it was so soft right there. You know what I mean? Like it was the only place that I was really noticing it. And she's like, she feels it. She's like, oh, it is so soft. Anyway, it was fun, right? And then by day 10, I just felt 20 again. I felt like living. I didn't feel like dying. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. I have been in remission now for a year and a half. Pretty cool. I live a really normal life now. And I'm really excited about that. And I feel great. And I got out of the lazy boy chair. And guess what I did? I started making a list to share it with everybody because I knew we could help so many people. And today we've helped 40,000 people. And we have doctors now that are looking at the research and saying this is real. The research is real. Light is real. We have cold laser red light in physical therapy offices now. We have what is that? The saunas, the infrared saunas now. Like people see it. I mean, people like Dr. Patty, an MD in regenerative medicine, said to me, wow, with what did she say? I look at two things. Is it effective? And is there a harm? And she says, it's effective and no harm. She's like, I'm in. And she changed. She started having her patients all do the X39 to activate their GHK copper peptide and their stem cell activation through the patch. She does not have her patients do little shots of GHK in their belly anymore. Isn't that great? What a great way of activating your body non-invasively. So this is the X39 stem cell activation patch. Is there anyone on the call that would like to unmute themselves, a practitioner or a client who has a testimonial, an experience, something that they have done with their clients, with their patients? Anybody have a story that they would like to share? Charlene, unmute yourself and tell everybody what you do, what type of a practitioner you are, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Charlene. I'm known as the Happy Healer. And I personally was in bed a year ago tomorrow. I was introduced to my first patch. I too am out of bed. I too can't shut up about it. Chronic things have just continued to evolve as I detox, rise up. It's been an amazing thing. And so in the beginning, I'm laying in bed because I can't be doing much, but I was feeling the shift. So I called all the light workers I know because we have to help the world with this stuff. And that's all I know is that people are drawn to it. I call it my hammock effect. I lay there and call in who is attracted to this light, who is ready for this light, and who is ready to share it with the world. And that's been what's been happening as I continue to evolve, and people have seen the evolution. We're calling it the resurrection of Charlene and Shot's Elf. And I'm back into life, and people saw me dying. And my clients, who are mostly light workers, are amazed at the expansion of their inner light just by touching the patch, let alone putting it on. And so it's just this wave of uplifting energy, and the results physically have been incredible with my clients that are in their 90s, their 80s, going from 2 canes and things to nothing. I had a walker, I had a caregiver, I was in bed, I'm on a motorcycle, I'm living life. It's just like so much fun.
Hold on, Charlene, give me a minute. I mean, you say that so quick. I was in bed, I had a cane, I had a walker. Like, really? Like, did you guys just hear that? Like she was not good. This was just 12 months ago. So you started the X39. When did you get rid of the cane? When did you get rid of the walker? When did you get out of bed? And when did you start riding a motorcycle? Like, really? Like, hello, I need to just back up for a minute on this.
Okay. So I had already been experimenting with expanding my inner light while I was laying in bed, because what else do you have to do? So I was noticing that I had a little more strength as I was being walked to the restroom type of thing. And so when this came along, I thought, well, I don't have to sit here like this all day, amping up my life. It's doing it. And so I would say at the time that I started the patches, I was needing assistance to get to the restroom. I noticed I don't know, I have no walker. I have no caregiver. I'm caregiving once again. And it was a slow evolution. But my husband, because, you know, as we rise and dip through these chronic things, we will retrace and we will have those symptoms again. And after this started for me 23 years ago, this detox from the radiation poisoning. And so it went from my skin peeling off to no issues, thanks to the aloe vera and things like this. But the X39 really kicked ass. My stem cells took flight and haven't looked back. My marrow is healthy and strong and vibrant. And I don't know, we donated the walker. I got on the motorcycle this summer. So it would have been what, 6 months, 7 months? Oh, and all the animals showing up. And so all I can say is with chronic, like I forever with this thing. And so it was up and then I have down and then up and then down. And what I've noticed with the X39 is it was a more consistent up with less down. The retracing has pretty much stopped. I haven't thrown up in months. And that was a consistent thing with this thing. And so I couldn't eat. I lost 49 pounds quick. And it was like, wow. And
is that because, Charlene, 22 years ago, you had radiation poisoning. So you had a lot of effects from that. And this was like turning into the cells to repair that, detoxing you. And what she means by retracing is that this is really interesting. So stem cells want to battle the bad cells or the bad toxins. And literally, David says you can have something called a healing crisis, which means you hurt more or something pops up. Charlene says you go up and down, up and down. Healing is not normally a straight up. You go up and down, up and down, up and down till you're all the way up. And David says the reason that happens, think about this, the young stem cells are activated. Your stem cells were never dead. They just went dormant with age, right? So now they're activated and think of the army marching again. And the army's going into Charlene going, oh, we got to pull that radiation out. And it starts going pushing. Well, then the stuff that doesn't want to come out starts pushing back. And there's a fight. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that I have yeast and in my colon, and when I do wheatgrass colonics, you can feel the wheatgrass fighting the yeast, and there's like this there's this battle, right? I like to think that with stem cell and with Charlene's radiation, there was this same battle, and so you can feel the battle sometimes. But David says the stem cells always win. So, Charlene, thank you for sharing. Did you have anything else to say before I move on, honey?
I just want to say I love you and thank you for everything.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing. Do we have another practitioner? Jane, I see two practitioners right here. One of you like to unmute and tell us what's been going on with you both. And I'd love to hear from both of you. Nothing like putting you on the spot. Jeannie, let's start with you first. What's been going on with you and what type of practitioner are you? And you're muted.
Okay, I'm unmuted. I do massage. I'm a healthcare practitioner. And, with COVID, it challenged me. It pushed every weak link in my body. So when I was 12 years old, I'm not 12 anymore. I'm about 67. I went horseback riding and flipped over the head of a horse because it slipped in something in the pasture. It mushed. My neck and shoulder pushed it this way and broke my collarbone. I didn't think of anything of it, but they put me in a cast for my collarbone. And ever since then, I had problems with my neck and shoulders. They were tight, they didn't work right. And I started seeing a chiropractor. So the older I got, the worse I got. And then the chiropractor said, oh, you got a stenosis, which is a narrowing of the spine. Yeah, where you couldn't turn to the left, to the right. So I was introduced to these patches. Marci shared with me about the patches. And I said, what? It can't do that. What? And I heard all these stories that if you wore these patches consistently, yes, something will happen. Well, of course, I tried it out and I wore 2 patches. And within the four days, because I have diabetes, my urgency to pee frequently and rush to the toilet, gone within 4 days. I was totally amazed. With the diabetes, it affects your joints and your legs and your whole circulation in your body. My knees and lower legs had started kind of twisting in and lots of pain. That pain was gone within 4 days. Of course, my skin was softer, but the biggie, at 6 months, I woke up in my bed and my neck and shoulders started to snap, crackle, and pop. And I have tons more movement and I can enjoy my workouts. It's just fabulous. Yes, I do with COVID. That started to revert things for me, and intensified my arthritis again. But yes, I'm on the mend and reversing that too. So no matter what happens, put on the patches, get going, and live your life. Thank you.
And Jeannie, I can't really fully comment on this, but maybe you can. Like Jeannie, the when she got the virus, it really affected her lungs, and there were a few days where it was I just didn't know what was going to happen to you. Let me say that, right? Like, and
yes, because my brain couldn't connect. The COVID starved my brain of oxygen. Okay, so when I got home, I couldn't even figure out how to use the shower. I wanted to shower so bad. I couldn't figure out where to flip that switch. So the COVID affected my oxygen level and everywhere in my body. So my body wasn't functioning. And Marci talked to me. You could hear it. It was like, oh, are you going to make it? Or are you not going to make it? There's no question now. Okay. But it does take time to reverse that. And this summer, even, I couldn't walk right. I thought I was going just the other way again. But I'm there. I'm back on it. I'm doing water therapy. I'm doing whatever it takes to keep on moving. I'm using the X39s now to help with my bones and everything. So David is on top of everything. Bless him with every new invention that he has to go forward. And reactivation of your stem cells is the it.
Well, I guess what I just remember is how scary it was for you and for me watching you having so little oxygen. But knowing, I'm going to cry, but knowing that you had patches all over your body, like you had, I don't know, maybe you'd like to call it a shield or something. And
that's a good way. Yeah.
And she just, little by little, she just started getting better and better and better and better. And that was, I was so thankful. And now if you guys saw Jeannie even 2 years ago, before she had all this, like her hair is so long. She had her hair up. Her hair is so, she's so, like her skin, her hair, she's so, we've always, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but we've always wanted to be more feminine, just like have like the pretty hair and the pretty skin. And I have to say, Jeannie, you and I, we're getting there, man. Like, look at us now. So anyway, I just adore you. And I'm so happy that you're so above and beyond the men. You're on the other side of the men. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
What about Jane? Jane Hobson, would you be able to unmute and tell us a little bit about what you do? And Wesley's giving you a big wave.
Yeah, hi, Wes.
And
Sure.
what's your story?
Well, so I'm a new functional nutrition and lifestyle practitioner. I've studied my whole life. It's been my passion. And in the last couple of years, that's what I've been taking courses in. So my personal story, I really didn't have many health issues myself, but to some people, it would be very important that they have something. I had something with my shoulder that chiropractor, nothing was really helping. And it was minor. I just couldn't really lift my arm up. I had to do it slowly or I'd feel something in the back. And that went away after maybe 2.5 months. And I wasn't expecting it. So it was, oh, that's nice that, but I think the one story that's the most amazing of someone I shared the patches with is I was at a meeting at church. I never met this woman before. I thought she was an older woman because she was always pushed in a wheelchair, and she was her head was down, so I never really saw her face. And she had a lot of seizures. She had a lot of issues. And I one night when I was sharing the patches, I said, you might want to look at this, look up this website because it might help you. She had just fell, I think, at work and had a concussion. And anyway, I didn't know that she ordered the patches because she did it a roundabout way, different way. I didn't give her my website or anything. And she called me one day. It was 8:30 at night, I think. And she said, I just was wondering, it sounded like there's a problem. She said, I'm using the patches, and is it okay? But I can open my hand, because her hand was stuck shut, like in a spasm for, I don't know, a week. And she was dizzy. She had a lot of different symptoms. And she said, I'm not dizzy. I can walk normal. And that was, I think it was an hour or two after she put the patches on her. And it was just X39. And I said, that's amazing. Not everybody has results that quickly, but, thank God, he helped you. The patches, are working really great for you. So, and when I see her now, I'm thinking, wow, it's like a miracle, because whenever I see her, she walks in the room like a normal person. She talks normally. She just got married. I mean, she has a wonderful life. And what a difference from always seeing her being pushed in a wheelchair and, so sort of disabled. And her mom watched right in the beginning, and her mom had really bad back pain. I'm not sure what her diagnosis was, but she started to put the patch on her, and her mom said, I feel something. So her too, she could almost like feel it working, which isn't normal for most people, I would say. I didn't feel that. But her daughter just said, well, they're working, so their patches work in different rates of speed for everyone, I think. And but we know that they work. And I just have to say, I love how David always tells us, you can't just wear the patches. It's lifestyle. You have to lower your stress, drink enough good quality water. There's a lot of things we need to do too. So that's really important. But thank David for these inventions of the patches, because they're just amazing. And like right now, I'm just doing a detox. So I'm wearing the glutathione patch, but I make sure I have the X39 and X39 every day. But yeah, and thank you, Marci and Jan and team, for everything you do for us, because we couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, we're definitely a tribe that wants to share good news. And that's what we've been doing for 3 years. And Jane, thank you so much for sharing. She hit on two things that we sometimes miss. And that is that when the stem cells go to repair, it can give quality of life back. And when push comes to shove, isn't that what we all want? For Jane's friend not to have her head down at church and in a wheelchair, but able to remarry and love and have a venture again. Isn't that what it's about? Jeannie being able to take a shower again and move into the joy of feeling feminine and beautiful and all those great. I hope I'm not being too I don't know. I hope I'm not revealing too much, but it's just truth, right? And and Charlene riding a motorcycle again. Like that's what life's about. It's about joy. And sometimes our chronic conditions take us out of joy, almost like we forget that we can have joy anymore. You know, me being able to get out of a lazy boy chair and get on a flight, get a passport and go to Costa Rica and swim in a pool 15 miles away from my home. Like that was a big deal for me, you know, coming from where I've been. So those kinds of things makes me want to cry. Those kinds of things is what this is all about. And someone in the chat said, what did you mean when you said, Jeannie, you just had, it was your shield and you had patches all over your body? And I'm going to let her talk what patches she was wearing, what patches she does wear. I know Jane said a few, and I'll go ahead and talk about a few of them. But remember, our whole, and just a minute, Wesley, I'll call on you in a minute. Our whole body is light, which means that David has places where you can put the patches, and you can go to your website under every patch and see his suggested placement. You can also go to startx39biz.com under the 14 steps to success under take and order. I believe that's tab number, is it either tab 8 or 9? It would be nice if I was memorized, but I'm not. Take the order, tab 9. And there is a great one page that talks about every product and the placement. In fact, you can also see that one page from startx39now.com. And so if you want to do more research on that, I'll show you where that is. We've just added it to the site. And you just go all the way down to the bottom and it says, oh, and by the way, you can join any of our podcasts, which are 30 minutes, just real people with real experiences. And that is that's every podcast we do in the week. And then you go all the way down to, oh, by the way, practitioners, you'll love this one. David Schmidt explains research with health practitioners. We just added this to the site for you. And then there's David Schmidt doesn't stop at X39, and you go right here and you can see the patches, what they do, and the placements. So when I said you just patched your whole body, she was most likely using X39, X49, glutathione in EN would be my guess. X39 activates stem cells. X49 is going to grow bone and protect her brain and her heart. Glutathione is going to detox and build her antioxidants, and EON's going to stop inflammation. So when I said to Jeannie, she probably patched her whole body. Most likely she put like the X39 underneath her neck, below the back of her neck, X49 under her belly button, glutathione maybe right there, right underneath the neck, and EON maybe right next to the X39, right below the back of the neck. So that's what I mean by that. But remember, these are just guides. Your whole body's light, so you can patch your body anywhere. I like to say any spot will do. And I also like to say, love your spot. What does that mean? Well, when I broke my wrist 3 months ago, my wrist hurt so bad, and I just was pushing X39 on glutathione and Lifewave, and I made a bracelet around my wrist. That worked great. And my wrist is almost better. I never thought I'd have full function again. I mean, I'm not quite there, but I'm getting there. And I will explain Lifewave in just a moment. But Wesley, you had something that you wanted to share. Wesley was enrolled by Jane, and he is an entrepreneur and a beautiful man. Wes, what would you like to share?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, that's good. All right. First of all, Jane, you forgot about me with the arm. Where's Jane? You're going to get a spanking. She went somewhere. Okay, here's the story. I'm a combat veteran. I flew about 500 combat missions, a few very hard landings. So I've been through 3 of the best civilian doctors and 3 of the best military doctors. I just left the Denver VA. I got a home out there. 2 of the best doctors there, all surgeon, everything. They said, there's nothing we can do for you. Okay, so I'm walking around for the last, I don't know how many years like this, right? And I couldn't get my arm up that far. So Jane, wherever she went, she sends me these patches. Okay, true story. I said, okay, I'll put them on. Right arm. Okay, next day, little something. And I didn't see, it was nighttime. Then the next night I put it on and I go, oh my God. Now this is something I cannot do. You ready? Don't move. Everybody stay there. Okay. I could not get my arm like that. Did you happen to notice? And I could not get my arm up like this.
Oh, look at that. Sorry.
How'd that happen? Huh? What was that little stupid Band-Aid I put on there, right? True story. Now, if you get something like that, where you get your arm back and the other one too, what can you say? Thank you, God. Thank you, Marci. I love you. And Jane and the rest of those girls there, one up there on the right and left. Okay. But what can you say? I mean, it works. So
Wow.
that's why I'm into the thing, and I just love helping people. We build them homes for veterans and all that stuff. And by the way, Marci, you missed our baby horse. And you girls see that?
No.
Oh, yeah. I took my computer across the street, baby horses out there. Okay. And this is South Carolina. This is a southern state. Let's see, it's by Lake Wiley. I built this home to be close to my boy, who's a Navy SEAL. So if you guys want to see the baby horse, it's over there. And thank you, Marcia. I love you.
Thank you, Wesley, and thank you for sharing. And Cynthia had a story. Would you like to unmute yourself? I saw that pop up. I just love everybody wants to share. This is our sharing day. Go ahead, Cynthia. Are you there? Let's see here. Was it Cynthia that said you wanted to share something? Are you there? Can you unmute yourself? It's Cynthia. You have to unmute yourself, and I don't know if I can find you to
Dr. Stan had said he wanted to share also.
Okay, well, why don't we have Dr. Stan
I'm
share?
pushing star 6.
Oh,
I'm
fantastic.
pushing star 6.
Is this
Can you
Cynthia?
hear me?
Yes, and then we'll have Dr. Stan share.
okay,
Yes,
fine.
go ahead.
Okay, Marci. Oh, I'm so excited about this. So I had this, I guess you could call it a retracing. You know how it takes a year or two to go through like retracing?
Yeah.
And first I had the thigh one, and then I had the jaw one, this TMJ jaw one, where since like 1978 or 9, when I had this major kissing session with this brand new boyfriend, I couldn't open my mouth the next day. And I was sitting in front of him in the morning and he's serving me eggs, and I can't even open my mouth to get the scrambled eggs in there, and I'm afraid they're gonna fall out, and I don't know what's wrong. And so anyway, I had a thing of that where I couldn't even open my jaw wide enough to put my index finger in, and this was like freaking me out. So I tried, like some other patches there, and it wasn't helping. And then I said, well, let me try X39 because, like it's soft tissue help, and, like I really need that. So within an hour and a few minutes, I was able to open my jaw almost 2 fingers wide. 1 hour and a few minutes just by putting X39 on the left side of my jaw by my ear where it hurt the most. And I go, oh my God, that is amazing. But then what was, so I just wanted to tell you that because I didn't know it could work that fast.
Yeah.
1 hour and a couple of minutes. And then the other thing I was going to tell you, but if you don't want me to say it today, I won't. When I used Dream on it that night, even more stuff happened the next day. Or do you want me to wait until Dream comes out?
No, we can talk a little bit about Dream. That's exciting. What happened with Dream?
So that night I took the Dream, and I'd been taking it, other nights, but I wasn't having this jaw, problem, and I wasn't taking it consistently. And this is my 13th time to do it. And I wasn't, seeing that much happening, with it. I saw a few things, but nothing dramatic like, the jaw. So when I woke up the next morning, and this is early, I had much less jaw pain. I was able to open my jaw a little more than 2 fingers, 2 index fingers. 3 is what you're supposed to be able to open it. And amazingly, I was able to turn my head way more to the left, which I have had a constant problem with that. I was like, oh my God, that's like this lady where I put X39 on her first time, and she was able to turn her head all the way to the left and hadn't been able to. And I go, wow, this is from Dream. And then the muscles in my face where my jaw was felt more relaxed, and my forehead where your sinuses felt more relaxed. I could really move them. And even my forearms, they felt more relaxed. That's the forearm
where you have the, computer mouse, problem
Mhm.
happening, it's an issue. And on top of that, I felt more awake and I had a better sleep quality with longer sleep time. I was able to sleep for 5 hours instead of only 2 hours without having to get up to go to the bathroom. So that's 5 hours, not 2 hours. And then later in the day, I could get up out of a chair faster, like my pelvis was moving better, like I was younger. And I could walk with my thighs closer together so I could walk faster. And the thing is, then, I didn't use the Dream for a couple days. And then I used it again. And you know what?
What?
The weird thing is, I couldn't turn my head as far to the left in the morning because on the day I'd use Shine, I was able to use it more. So I didn't even realize that Shine was affecting this area too. And for me, this whole major jaw TMJ retracing thing, like if you're really, really messed up, I guess is when you can really see what Dream and Shine can do for you.
Wow, that's amazing. Cynthia, can I have everyone that gave their testimonials just go and chat if it's not, if it's okay, if you're comfortable with it, put your name and phone number. I'd like to grab those because there's some beautiful testimonials that I'd like to share on our Thursday night from today. This just is blowing me away. And Cynthia is talking about a product called Dream, and it's not out yet. It won't ship until when is it shipping? Can somebody remind me? Is it shipping end of November? Is that correct? I believe it ships end of November and then out completely starting in January. But it is a spray that you spray on your hand and you sniff it in. It's called it's a form of oh goodness, what's that called when you take it from the
Aromatherapy.
like it's a form of aromatherapy. And it gives you energy, the Shine during the day, and Dream helps you sleep. And they both adjust hormones. They both bring in the hormone of happiness. And when you're happy, is it oxytocin? Is that the happy one? The love hormone? When you bring that love into your tissues, everything goes, I mean, it's weird, right? And that's what her jaw did. She's just like, oh, my jaw's in love again with me, it's the love hormone. And right. And it also works really well in the connective tissue, and the Dream puts you to sleep. And so I can see, Cynthia, why the X39 with the Dream was working so well. X49, of course, is a stem cell activation patch like X39. It just works on a little different type of stem cell. X49 works on bone growth and it works on lean muscle mass. So I could see where that was helping with the jaw too, Cynthia. That all of that together was loving on the tissues, creating more connective tissue and collagen, and building the bone and supporting the muscle. And so, of course, you got that nice extension in the jaw. And she also talked about retracing, which means that, once again, when the stem cells hit the cell that's locked up, there could be a battle for a little while. But what does David say? The stem cell always wins. So just move through the battle, so to speak. And Cynthia, thank you so much for your share. That was fascinating. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll do a little more research on Dream and Shine, and I'll get the products out, and we'll share more about that next week on the practitioner call. I think that would be really nice. I know a lot of you, it's so new and it's not out yet, that's why you don't know too much about it yet, and that's okay. We'll educate. So with that, Dr. Stan, are you there? Could we hear from you?
I'm here.
Hi, Dr. Stan.
Hey, good to see you.
So good to see you too. I didn't know Dr. Stan was on today. What a great surprise. Thank you.
I'm here. Life has changed. We moved to the beach and we're a little bit more free right now.
That's wonderful. Dr. Stan did our Saturday call with Dr. Stacy and Dr. Dawn a few weeks ago. It was so good. And if you'd like to hear the recording once again, you can go to the startx39biz.com and you can go under practitioner team, test Telegram, and hear that recording. It was amazing. But Dr. Stan, tell us, what's your story?
Well, really for the last 40 years, we had spent our life in health and wellness. As a former pastor, I got interested in health a lot because everybody was sick in the church, and like suffering all the time. So I was dealing with death and sickness, disease, and all kinds of things for a long time. I had some personal challenges myself, along with Jody, my wife. And so that kind of began our journey into going back to school, learning about health and nutrition, herbs and spices, and, learning how to eliminate sickness and disease naturally, holistically. And it basically turned into a new career, so to speak. And we had worked on a couple of projects with Alicia Waters, who had had cancer herself, and she had got one of the best reports that she had had in many, many years from her doctor. And we were just amazed, because we had been walking with her through this cancer journey. And so we were like, wow, that's really great. What were you doing? And the only thing she had really changed was using these crazy patches. And so Jody had a few health issues, and she said, do you think it would help me? Long story short, we got the patches. We started putting the patches on our body. Jody's carpal tunnel is pretty much 90% healed now, the arthritis, the carpal tunnel. She used to wear mitts, as I used to call them, these copper gloves to bed, and I used to snore at night. We're sleeping better. I'm not snoring. She's not wearing her mitts. She's feeling better. We're reverse aging. My hair is getting darker. Our skin's getting clearer. Which are just some of the nice things that have happened to us. But Jody, she just realized, Marci, it was about a month or so ago, she was laying in bed, and she's always had this, I guess it's a non-threatening heart palpitation where her heart would just skip a beat. Her heart, Marci, has stopped skipping the beat now. Her heart is functioning normal, which is totally awesome.
Wow.
We never thought it was life-threatening, but she had lived with it all of her life. We're in the 60+ crowd, and that's pretty amazing. But for me, I had, long story short, part of our story, we won't get into all of it, but one of the things that really meant so much to me was I dropped my blood pressure 30 points in basically 3 weeks, Marci.
Wow.
Which is huge, because I've been doing everything naturally, trying to control it, going to the doctor, monitoring it without medicine, using mostly, herbs and things like that. But that was really huge, when you have something, because blood pressure is an important biomarker that we need to pay attention to in our life. So that was, a huge thing for us. And of course, we started sharing it with everybody, because once you know what the patches can do for people, you got to share it. People have some type of problem or sickness, as you alluded to. It's like, man, you need to try this. And I just wanted to share this one testimony of a friend of ours that I grew up with. Her husband, Marci, had been battling kidney cancer for 10 years.
Wow.
Just really having a hard time, lost his zest for life, just really struggling. And she got the patches and started using them, and she talked him into using them. And within just a few short weeks, he started feeling better. He started picking up his energy again. And for the first time in 10 years, Marci, the man was able to have sex with his wife.
Wow.
Now, for a man, you're talking about, that is huge. A man that, had erectile dysfunction for 10 years, dying, he's a new man. He's excited about life again, because, to me, sexual energy is the reproductive energy of the universe. It's not a taboo subject. It should be something that we can talk about, without it being, dirty. It's a good thing. And so we're just so excited for this guy because he's alive. He's come back alive. And it was just so funny, Marci, because after he had been using it and after this happened, the other thing she said was it was the first time she had ever had sex where her hip didn't bother her. I mean, to me, that's just one of the most wonderful things that could ever happen to a couple. He's regaining his life after 10 years of a death sentence, basically just depressed, stressed. He's back alive, and she's got hope, and it's just completely changed their lives. It's amazing.
And Dr. Stan, think about all the people you're helping, because you said yes, and you decided you would put this patch on your body. And when your blood pressure went down in 3 weeks, I can still remember we were in Florida having breakfast together with you and Jody, that you had just decided to start sharing back then. And I remember you saying, I have to share. My blood pressure went down in 3 weeks. Like, how do I not do this? And so it's so nice because you said yes. I mean, look at you once again, you gave this couple quality of life. That's what it's really about. We keep talking about what stem cells repair, but I think we need to remember to connect it to the quality of life people are getting back because of it. That's really important. So Dr. Stan, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate you. And maybe one day on the practitioner call, if you ever were so, if you wanted to, you could do more of a real science training for us. We would sure be in gratitude if that would be something you would like to do. So
anytime.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you so much. And with that, it's 10 o'clock. I don't even know where the time goes. That's how awesome this call is, right? I do want you to know, as doctors, you can, there's a couple things you can do to set your offices up. I'm just going to show this to you right now. It's startx39biz.com. You go to startx39biz.com, and this is our business site. And you can go down to a couple things. What I like here is click to access the tools to promote your business. You just click on here. And you can see these are actually pretty cool sites that Michelle makes that are just real simple sites. And you might want one. You have your own site, of course, lifewave.com/whatever you want that to be. But this is just a little more stylized. You can look at that. I really like the marketing materials that Sally does. I really like the new business cards that she makes for all of us. And I particularly like them for practitioners. Dr. Lisa, for example, uses, she does her cards. She has her picture, her name, and the Now site explains the stem cell. And then this is the picture with the QR code to the website. And she literally just has, she ordered some of these from Sally and some plastic bags from Jan. Jan, if you could put your phone number in chat so people could get that. And she just made little pops for her patients. And of course, she always shares what the patches are. She actually is a pain doctor, and she shares that the stem cell patch basically takes the place of the $10,000 injection, which is hard to get in the US anymore anyway. And then she explains, because she's a pain doctor, Eon for inflammation. And I didn't really talk about IceWave for pain. And IceWave is a 2-patch system. And so she'll tell her patients, you're just going to pop your pain area, the brown on the pain spot, the white about 3 inches away, and that breaks the connection of pain. Then she recommends putting an X39 in the middle. Okay. And I'll just show you. Let's just say that I was with Dr. Lisa and I broke my wrist going to a pain doctor. She would say, put the brown patch where it hurts the most on your wrist. Put the white patch about 3 inches away, which would be on that side. Put the X39 right in the middle like that. That's going to be your stem cell. And then, of course, Eon is the patch, that reduces inflammation. And so this is what we call the pain and repair kit. And you could put that right in here, for example. And you see how I just popped the spot with a kind of a bracelet. And so she explains that she'll take an order for a silver kit and an auto ship. So the pain and repair protocol in the silver kit would be, for example, one X39. And in that silver kit, you could do, for example, 2 Eon, and you could even do 2 Iceways for $299. And then, of course, you put 1 X39 the following month to keep the stem cells activating. That would be a silver kit for $299. The gold kit would be like double that for a family of 2 for $499, as an example. And then she would, as they're walking out of the office after they've ordered their kit, she would do a patient education and show them how to pop the spot. And that's it. And then she would say, for more information, this is what I love about this business card. She would just basically read what the card does. So X39 activates your own stem cells using a patented wearable light technology. Stem cells are the only cells in the body that are changeable. They can change into any cell your body needs for repair, like when you were 20. And then she would literally send them to Start X39 Now, the Now site, for more information. And what's great is that Now site educates her all on stem cell X39, and then at the bottom, the other patches and the protocol. So then the patient can educate themselves all with the website. So it's pretty simple, right? So that's really how she set up her office. Dr. Harmon likes to include in his office setup the gifting envelopes, which talks about stem cell a little more deep, and it also goes to the Now site. And he always has like 20 for his office, and any office that he enrolls that wants it, he sends them 20 envelopes. He just asked me yesterday how to get the envelopes to all his other offices that he's enrolled. So that was pretty amazing. So he uses those two. And then the order forms, you want to go to, once again, startx39biz.com. So once again, just 2 tabs to get an office set up, right? The first tab is the tools to promote your business. The other tab is the 14 steps to your success. And you should go and read these steps. It really helps you understand the business. But under step number 9, take the order, is where most of the folks do their order form. They either print out this order form, which is fairly generic. It talks about retail $149, preferred customer $119, the silver kit for $299, the gold kit for $499, and of course 1X39 the following month to keep your stem cells activating. We always do a kit and an auto ship. The kit's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and 1X39 or 1X49 equals 2 of any supportive patches. So you can just build the kit right here. And then what you would do is you would then go and put the order in. The company ships to your patient like Amazon, and you get a thank you check. So that's how that works. Now, some of my doctors, like Dr. Patty, like the protocol form. So this would be the silver protocol, for example. And she likes X39 in her protocols. So this actually does a protocol for an office. You see the pain, the detox, the skin, the sleep, the hormone and digestion, and the 1X39. Those are all silver kits, for example. And then we also have the gold kit protocol if you wanted to run those. So those are some of the protocols. So those are the order forms. So oh, and then here's the one page that all my offices like to print out. It's right here. And we showed this to you before, which is just a quick description of every patch and placement. So basically, my offices set themselves up with a little card and a little patch education. They order like sleeves for their office, either a gold to a diamond pack. They'll retail X39 for $149. All the supportive patches for about $80. And then they're signing their patients on a silver kit with an auto ship or a gold kit with an auto ship protocol. And they always have some business cards. Oh, there's Dr. Lisa. You see Dr. Lisa? Dr. Lisa, and you see how she is a, I don't know if you can see that, but MD, so Dr. Lisa MD, and there's her office number, her QR code, and then the Now site as an example. And then they also use some of those envelopes. We like to call those the gifting brochures, right? You can gift or give a protocol. It's in an envelope, but it's also like a brochure where it explains the information. And then of course, you have the order form and the one page, and that's really just how an office is set up. Lastly, what people do is once they take the paper order, they're like, well, how do I put that order in? Well, you can just go to tab number 10, input the order in the back office. And there's a 10-minute video on how to input your order, and a 15-minute video on back office, and a 5-minute video on how to set up the auto ship. So all the information really, we run on a couple different sites. StartX39now.com is our informational site. StartX39biz.com is our business site. You have your own replicating site, lifewave.com/your first and last name. That's where the order gets put in and sent to your clients like Amazon. And I feel like we have one more site that I like to use. Oh, I know, and Telegram. Telegram is the site where we check out the testimonials, the before and after pictures, and that's on startx39biz.com tab 5. So those are really the 4 sites that I use to build a business, and some of the materials we're using to set up practices. I'm hoping one day soon I'll have a tab that's just practice setup, so you can just go there and see what doctors use. But we're a work in progress. So with that, I hope that you enjoyed today. It is 10:11, so thank you for all coming. We will see you next Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific, and you all just have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a